welcome to Counter Narrative. Today I'll be doing a short video on my experience at the London March on Saturday. I've been watching what has been reported over the last few days, and surprise surprise, the nuance has been lost and only the controversial side has been overly reported. I've mainly seen this. And this. But little of this.
We say no!
So the latter was the majority of the march. I turned up around 12:30 at Parliament Square and it looked quite full, as shown in my video, although others must have been really late to the party.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. So just in the last 10 minutes, there were lots and lots of people gathered in Parliament Square. It was kind of hard to see. I guess maybe up to 10,000 people. And they've just started marching through, just along here, sort of through the centre of London. And it's quite a sort of jovial atmosphere, to be honest, at the moment. I haven't had, so there's been sort of no sort of animosity. If anything, I think people feel quite positive that there are other people, that people are coming together with actually very much shared values and shared concerns about the way in which restrictions are impacting on people's civil liberties. Because particularly what was interesting, I was just speaking to one man just now who said he's never been to a protest before. And I said, OK, well, what's made you come today? And he said, I think it was the vote on Tuesday for COVID passes for nightclubs. That was the issue that he said, I just thought enough is enough.
So you said about 10,000 around Parliament Square before the march set off. I don't want to be a party pooper, but behind you, it looks pretty thin. Are they disappointed, or is this what they were hoping for in the planning committee stage?
Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, I think we're genuinely kind of right at the back of it. There are more people have been marching through. But yeah, I don't think it's been quite as many people as perhaps they had anticipated. I mean, having so many people together in one space with many people with placards, it still felt like quite a considerable size, but maybe not quite the numbers that people had envisaged.
So that was pretty poor from GB News. You would have expected them to have actually got right in there in the march instead of sitting at the back and not really seeing what's happening. Just to let you know, not all the videos in this film were filmed by me. I was near the front, and after walking for maybe an hour, I decided to stop and see how big the crowd was. So I stood on some steps and filmed for a while. I was surprised at how large it was and how long it kept going for. Other people also filmed some great time-lapse footage, shown here. In general, there was a very relaxed mood and it was very orderly. The only controversial thing I saw was people randomly letting off flares. I didn't see any violence or disrespect to the police. Obviously that would happen later. There was a lot of people there, old and young, as shown here. However, the main reason was the opposition to the Vax pass. The reason I was there too. I am double vax, but I don't think that matters unless I have the booster now anyway. But I have seen reports that it was an anti-vax march, which it wasn't. So around the 2-hour mark, when we got to Oxford Street, some of the protesters were saying to the mass public, take off your masks, they don't work. Which personally I didn't like. It wasn't intimidating, but I just thought, leave them alone, leave them be. One masked man made a good point, and I'll paraphrase. He said, you're marching for autonomy, so don't tell me what to do. A point I totally agree with. He can walk around in scuba gear for all I care. Just don't ask me to. So then we got onto Regent Street, where a group seemed to head towards the Apple store, which was immediately protected by the police. Nothing came of it. At this point, me and my friend decided it was our patriotic duty to go to the pub and sink a few pints in a nice local little pub. I was probably in the march for 2.5 to 3 hours just as the lights started to go. This was when it returned to Parliament Square and Downing Street, and a small minority began throwing things at the police, etc., which I totally condemn. Also, an idiot called Piers, who has made his name saying ridiculously incendiary things, did it again. Not that one. This one.
We are getting more support, but we've got to get a bit more physical. It means we have to take down these lying vax centres, and we've got to take down these lying MPs. We've got to support and welcome all of those who've rebelled or voted against Boris, i.e. rebelled from the Tories, or my brother and his mates. They voted against the measures yesterday, which is a step forward. They voted against. That is good. We've got to support all those, and we've got to hammer to death those scum who have decided to go ahead with introducing new fascism. You've got to get a list of them. We can get lists of them on websites. And if your MP's one of them, go to their offices and, well, I would recommend burning them down, okay? But I can't say that on air, so I hope we're not.
Isn't that just great rhetoric when we've had 2 politicians killed in the last 5 years or so? Let's hope we find out how tough he really is in prison. So that's my video on the protest. I had one on the Birmingham protest in July also. I recently made a video about Dr. Alina Chan, who gave testimony to MPs last week that the Wuhan lab leak theory looks more probable. I wanted to run ads for it, however YouTube refused, stating that it was too sensitive, even though its footage previously aired. Have a look for yourselves. As I only deal with, quote, sensitive stories, I'm thinking of doing a video on Neil Oliver's recent address for the New Culture Forum. Maybe I'll be allowed to advertise that, I'm not sure. If that's something you'd like to see, let me know. If anyone was at the protest, leave a comment on your experience. Please like, sub and share. Also hit the notification button to find out when I upload more content. Thank you.